Something that is often forgotten by gardeners, certainly myself, is the simple fact that when I garden, I'm engaged with highly complex and borderline magical processes that are demonstrated in nature. And one of these processes is that in nature, waste doesn't exist. In fact, everything is utilized at some point or another. And eventually, as Mufasa alluded to, everything returns to the soil. This really grinds against our modern gears because we're very conditioned to label things as useful or useless. But as nature's perspective on waste implies, that's a pretty dangerous assumption that we think that we could label something as useful or useless. And not to get too deep too quickly, but it's actually a potentially very damaging worldview to believe that useful means valuable and useless means worthless, as if we could even know something's usefulness and value. But as gardeners and as humans, really, we seem to be drawn to things that are immediately apparent and providing visible results. The problem is that many things don't provide immediate visible results. And that's the second lesson that nature teaches us. It's actually the very things that we can't see, microorganisms, that are making most of our effort as gardeners work. Microbes are both largely invisible to the naked eye and invaluable for cultivating healthy soil and plants. That's hidden lesson number 2. The third lesson that I want us to observe from nature is that rather than our intuitive sense that competition and control are the driving factors for our work as gardeners, nature seems to value collaboration much more highly. And it shows us that in some really remarkable ways, many of which people have tried to form into a system with clearly defined rules and measurements that nature largely rejects in favor of patterns that can be recognized and replicated in our gardens. If we get ourselves out of the narrow-minded, rules-based approach to gardening. And as we examine this fourth lesson of nature, following patterns, not rules, we'll arrive at the fifth hidden lesson that nature reveals to us, that it values diversity over uniformity at almost every level.